Offline तो maybe less than 7. CM2. छोटा attempt है ना. It's always like that. CM2 CS1 smaller attempt में ज़्यादा होता है. CS2 smaller attempt में हमेशा कम होता है. वैसा ही. It's like a sequence. बहुत easy. And if it's your real brother तो ऐसे ही. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. I'll just start now. Uh, just to give you a brief introduction before I start, I'm Viraj. I'm a qualified actuary. I have around 5 years of work experience. I've worked with all the major companies like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Deloitte, KPMG, a lot more. Okay. That's a little bit about myself. I'm into finance and actually more related to CM2 as a paper. Okay. Uh, CM2 is all about finance only when it comes. The name of the subject is nothing but. Take a second. Huh? Loss reserving and financial engineering. Okay. Uh, Talking about these things in detail, loss reserving, as the name suggests, you basically try to preserve your losses, or it's like reserves. जो अपन ने CM1 में पढ़ा था, it's like reserves. You try to reserve your losses for the future is what loss reserving is. This is only 20% of your CM2. The major chunk is nothing but your financial engineering, which is 80% of CM2. When I say loss reserving, these are the only two chapters related to loss reserving. That's your ruin theory, runoff triangle. Okay, the whole purpose of this orientation is basically to understand a few things. One, we understand the chapters, we understand the weightage of the chapters, we understand what the plan would be for the next 7 months. So you have a very clear idea about how we are going to process so that you do not have any unrealistic expectations, or you know how things are so you can plan your stuff in a better way. Okay, that's what the plan is. Ruin theory runoff has 20% of your entire weightage. When I talk about the entire weightage, I basically mean 100 marks. 100 marks can be anywhere. It can be your R, it can be your Excel, or sorry, it can be your Excel or your theory, doesn't make a difference. When I say 20%, it's the 20% of 100 marks. It can be R method, it can be of 50 marks. If it comes in theory, it can be of 30 marks. Doesn't make a difference. When I talk 20%, it has to be 20% of the entire portion. What do you mean by the word ruin theory? When I basically mean ruin theory, I basically mean that I'm holding a company. Okay. Tomorrow, you invested in my company. Okay. Let's say, Krisha, you invested in my company. Let's say 100 crore rupees. What is the probability? I'm an insurance company. What is the probability that you lose all your money? I become bankrupt because there were excessive claims or there were less premium or whatever the reason is. So that's what your ruin theory is all about. Very simple chapter. You have a list of 20 formulas. You should get 100 marks here. Okay. If it's a 100-mark question, you need to get 100 marks here. Okay. Same way with runoff triangle. Runoff triangle is usually used for general insurance. Uh, when I say general insurance, see, for example, I'll just give you a real life example. Okay. This is what I faced. What happened is very ironic as a situation. My car basically we were at home around 10 a.m. in the morning, okay? Someone banged our car from behind. It was in a very bad situation. It was in a very bad situation. Obviously, we sent it to the center, let's say Toyota Center, to basically get it done. It was in March mid. If you remember, the first lockdown was on 21st of March or something like that, a similar date. So what happened is my car basically stayed in this service center for 8 to 12 months because everything was closed. Okay. Again, very bad as a circumstance, but again, that happened. So what happened is, see, the car got banged in March 2nd week. It got repaired a year later. Let's see this way. Does that mean that my claims needs to be recorded for next year or this year? It should be this year only, right? So now if you see in these kind of circumstances, the money, the premium which you're earning, the claims are coming at a later point in time. See, this is the real life which I face. There might be so many who might have faced these kind of situation, or maybe some parts were missing. It took 8 months in order to come, right? So if you see some claim amounts, even though you're paying premium right now, the claim with respect to that is coming a 6 months or 1 year later. So you not only have to reserve what is there today, you need to reserve for the future as well. So how do you take that into picture is what your run-off triangle is all about. Okay? This is your loss reserving. Now we talk about financial engineering. Remember, this is 2019 as a portion, okay? In 2025, there were two important changes. The first change was chapter 3 went away. Okay, chapter 3 went away. Chapter 5 went away. So we don't have these two chapters anymore. Okay, so remember this one thing. All the remaining chapters are your financial engineering. Now I'll talk about all these chapters a little bit more in detail in order to explain what we are going to study in these kind of chapters. But yeah, your chapter 1, 2, and 4 is actually, I would say, 80% of a theory chapter. Okay. That means that it has a weightage of 10 to 15%, but it is 80% theory. That means these are individual set of chapters explaining you the market in general. When I say market, stock market, okay? Stock market or bond market. For example, just giving an example from one of these chapters, let's understand the difference between USA versus, let's say, a country like Congo. There's a country named Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo. There's a country named that in Africa. Okay. What's the difference between these two countries? Okay. For example, both of these company has, let's say, Apple as a company. Okay. Now, Apple basically announced that iPhones will stop be manufacturing at all. Now, if you know, the main business of Apple is iPhone, right? The 40 to 60% of the revenue comes because of iPhone. So now we're expecting that Apple share price is, let's say, $200. It will fall to $100. See, this information spreads very quickly in a country like USA. So we'll be able to see this $100 by tomorrow itself. Okay. Tomorrow itself is what we are going to basically see our impact. But when we come to Congo, it's not very easy to spread information. People do not even understand basic maths also there. Okay. Even if they do understand, they do not understand stock market, right? So this change from 200 to $100 will happen over the 6 months time. Let's assume that. So this is two different markets having two different impact. So this is known as your strong market. This is known as your weak market. There's something in between as a semi-strong or semi-weak as well, but we are going to study in detail. But I'm just giving you an example in order for you to understand that this is what we're going to study in the initial set of chapters. Okay. This is nothing but an example of your chapter 1 where we understand the markets in detail. The second chapter is your utility theory. When I talk about utility theory, it's like from an investment you make, how much satisfaction you get. Even if you get less return, but you're satisfied, that means you should make an investment. So we are linking your satisfaction with respect to your investment returns. Chapter 4 is risk, like standard deviation and something like that. Okay. Easy chapters. Again, very easy. You should basically get full marks here. Then we talk about chapters 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8 has a range of around 10 to 15% again. Here we are going to see, in today's world, I would say that there are 3,200 companies listed on BSE. Practically, I cannot track all of these, right? It's not possible. Let's take on an average. BSE has 3,200 companies, NSE has 1,800 companies, okay? Every company has a different risk and return. It will have different mean return and different variance. So within this entire universe, one, which company do I invest in? And how much do I invest in? Is what we are going to understand in chapter 6, 7, 8. Okay. Again, this is very brief about what we are going to study. It might differ. When you literally study, it goes much more into detail, but I'm just giving you a very simple example so that we set the stage forward about what the expectations are going to be. So you basically use mean variance in order to see which company has how much return and risk. And then based on that, you select the best companies and invest there. Okay. Now comes the chapter 9, 10, 11, 12 and 14. Okay. Let me first talk about 12 and 14. Let me talk about these two chapters. Okay. Remember, I'm using different color pens. There is a reason for it. I'll explain it to you later, but yeah. 12 and 14 basically talks about something known as your derivative market. When I say derivative market, I basically mean that you might have heard about call option, put option in your call option, put option futures. People say stock market is sattabaji. This is sattabaji. You use call option, put option futures in order to make a speculative return is usually called as sattabaji. But again, if you use it as a risk measure perspective, it's a very excellent tool. Okay, very excellent tool. So yeah, when I talk about derivative as a whole, what do you mean by derivative? Let's say we are playing a cricket match. Okay, it's India versus Pakistan. Let's say that way. Now we made a bet. India has selected to bowl first. Sorry, India selected to bat first. Okay, bat first. India made a total of, let's say, 350, and Pakistan is left to be batted now. We make a bet. Ki boss, how much ever runs the Pakistan loses by, okay, you will pay me that much money. For example, Pakistan makes 250 runs, okay, you will pay me 100 bucks. If Pakistan makes 200 runs, okay, you pay me 150 bucks. Okay. And if Pakistan wins, you pay me nothing. अगर ये सिनेरियो में देखना चाहे तो यार मेरा तो फायदा ही फायदा है. One, if I lose, there's nothing. I'm always going to get money. But again, India is not dumb, right? So it will be like, boss, in order for you to do this, first give me 50 bucks, then we'll talk. So this is nothing but a concept of premium. We're going to pay the premium in order to make the money. Now, for example, if there's a difference, if, for example, Pakistan made 100 only. So basically make a 250 as a profit and you paid 50 as a premium, so you make 200 as a profit. Okay. This is nothing but, if you carefully see the term derivative here, the term derivative is basically nothing but you're making money, but with respect to another asset altogether. It can be gold or anything as well. Okay. It can be gold. It can be stock market. It can be anything. Okay. I'll literally give you real life examples also when we do in the class. I'll give you real life example. I'll show you my positions as well about these derivatives, how I make money, how I lose money, everything. I'll show it to you. So that will make things much more interesting. But just understanding the concept. Derivative is nothing but the price of your derivative. Let's say this way. The price of your derivative is actually price of derivative is actually dependent on another asset. okay, is nothing but what your derivative is. So we are going to learn about derivative in detail. In derivative, there are two types of derivatives major. One is nothing but I would say you might invest in a stock market. If prices go down, you lose money, right? There's a way in order to make money when the markets fall also. There's a way in order to do that. We're going to learn that also. हाँ short selling होता है, put option होता है. There's different ways to make money. Okay, if markets are falling down as well, to be very honest. So this is what your derivative contracts are all about. We're going to talk about making money. Now there's this chapter which is 9, 10, 11, and 13. See, stock market basically moves every second, right? See, first 12 and 14, we are going to understand derivatives, okay, in a discrete time. Okay. Chapter 9, 10, 11 sets the base for continuous time. It sets the base for continuous time. Again, it has a very less weighted 10%, but it is very important because it sets the base for continuous time. See, after doing end of the day, end of the month, end of the year, it's still fine. We can do it. It's just one simple calculation. But every second you need to analyze so that you make money is difficult, right? So how do I do every second analysis? What the important thing is. Now, the green color, which I'm highlighted, plus your purple color, okay, together makes this. Wait, I'll use a different pen. Makes this blue color. Nahin. Light blue, light blue. Okay, makes this pink color. यार मिक्स हो जा रहा है. Anything else can we do? Red. ठीक है चलो red. Makes this red color. Okay, green plus purple is equal to your red. This means that you're going to see your derivatives in continuous time. This has a weightage of around 30 to 40%. These are the very important chapters. So if you carefully see, again, I'm just explaining it once again. The yellow color and your blue color are independent chapters. Doesn't make a difference. But from chapter 9 to 19, okay, there's a lot of dependency. So what are we going to plan is we are going to first start with the blue chapters because if I start with the green, purple and the red colors, I won't be able to shift to anything else. So first we are going to do blue chapters and your yellow chapters. Till the month of December, that's when your result comes in. Once your result comes in, you are like, hey, boss, now I have to do CM2. You are in a very perfect stage to do your CM2. This is where I start your all the important chapters. That's your green, purple, and red. This is which we are going to do from December to your April. Okay, so that's what the plan would be so that in case, even if you decide not to do CM2 or if you decide you want to do CM2, however, it's your choice at the end of the day, you are not affected by any of the major stuff. Okay, so till the month of, I would say December, CM2 would be pretty chill, not that much of an effort. And let me tell you, Excel of CM2 is the easiest I have ever seen. Literally, you sit for 2 days, that's 8 to 10 hours each. You will be done with entire subject Excel. Yeah. So Excel is going to be way easier. So I'm not going to talk about Excel in detail at all because Excel is something, it's literally the most easiest thing. CM2 is kind of a paper where getting 70 is easy. 70 is easy. It's very much manageable to get it. Okay. So my priority would be to get you to 80 or 90. But yeah, 70 is bare minimum, which can be easily achieved. Okay. There have been multiple batches, to be very honest, where I've received 100% results for CM2. That's what I would be expecting from you guys as well. Okay. Uh, yep. Now talking about how are we going to basically go ahead with the portion. This is what I talked about CM2, got a good understanding. I gave you an idea as well, ki how many percentage would be there and everything. Okay. So, yep. Now we're talking about how are we planning with the portion. My plan is we're going to start from October 11. That's today. October 11, the next class would be on October 25. I'm giving you 1 week off for Diwali. You can enjoy your Diwali, you can enjoy your breaks as well. But in these 2 weeks, you need to see chapter 6, 7, 8 lectures. Just see the lectures, that's it. I'm not expecting anything great out of you guys. From October 25 to your December first week, we are going to complete chapter 1 to 8, and if time remains, 2021. Again, depending upon the time, no flexibility. We have flexibility to do it. From December till your Feb end, we're going to complete all the chapters. So Feb end is what my guarantee would be that I'll be able to complete it, and I know for a fact I'll be able to complete it, but I'm planning Feb mid only. I'll complete my portion by Feb mid. Feb end, kuch upper niche hua, we have some problem, you were unable to do it, there was some issues or something like that. I'm giving 1-2 weeks as buffer, but Feb mid is what I'm planning. That's around 2 months before your exam. Okay, what we'll do in 2 months? We'll basically do 10 years of past papers, 3 to 4 times revision. Then we'll do 3 mock exams. That means 3 theory, 3 R. Okay, 3 theory, 3 Excel. Sorry. And yeah, your basic revisions and your chapter wise test going on. Okay, chapter wise test. Again, I'm just telling you, I'm writing it here, but we'll be doing a few chapter wise tests over the time as well. But I'm just writing it here. That's what the plan would be when it comes to CM2. I'm planning to have your lectures every Saturday from 3:30 to 6 p.m. Till the month of December, I think I only require one lecture. But from January, I might require Sunday as well. Once we decide we want to extend it to Sunday, we'll discuss the timing in the class. We'll decide a fixed timing. We'll start with Sunday as well. But right now, only one lecture is required. So we'll start with one lecture. We'll go things slow. Okay. Then overall CM2 is very easy. Very, very, very easy. But remember 9 to 14 does not have weightage, but those are the most important chapters. 9, 10, 11 is very, very, very confusing. Very confusing. Let me tell you right from day one, it's very confusing 9, 10, 11. I'll give you 2 weeks to do 9, 10, 11. That's your green color. So this is very confusing. So please type, I'll write it on the group also. Ki please be with me on these chapters and stuff. Please be with me on these chapters, because if you don't understand these chapters, it will be literally a bigger problem. It's simple. If you don't understand 9, 10, 11, you don't understand 15 to 19, that's your 40% of the portion. So if you don't understand 9, 10, 11, you're going to fail. That's simple. It is. Okay. Even 12, 14, you don't understand the concept, you're unable to apply in the continuous time, you fail. So 9, 10, 9 to 14 is nothing but the base for your CM2. So please make sure you're with me when it comes to the base. 15 to 19 are, the red color is a little bit of a difficult chapters. 9, 10, 11 is confusing but easy at the same time. Once you understand, it will be a walk. That's it. Okay. It will be that easy. But 15 to 19 becomes confusing. You require more solving there. So actually the concept are less, the solving is more. It's like I teach you 7 distribution, but in reality there are 70 distribution which is possible. Like the proofs. So exam can be on anything, right? I'll teach you the method, then it will be easier for you, but you need to practice on that on the sums. So 15 to 19 will give a lot of times on the sums, okay? 9, 10, 11 will give a lot of time on the concepts. 9 to 14 actually will give a lot of time on the concept. 15 to 19 will give more time on the sums, okay? That's what the plan would be when it comes to CM2. All the materials would be in the hard copy form, soft copy format, but we have prepared formula book and revision book. Formula book is nothing but a book where all the formulas are listed chapter wise, so that makes it easier to revise. And revision book is theory, question answer, question answer, question answer. Like what is the assumption? You write the answer right there. That makes a theory also sorted out. So this is very useful for your offline exams. So this will be given in the hard copy format. That's what CM2 is all about. Again, very simple subject, but you need to be with me. If you're with me, I think CM2 passing, I can say that if you're with me, 95% chance that I'll ensure that you guys pass. Okay, because this is my favorite subject among all the actual papers. So that's one thing. I'll give you real life example. I'll give you a lot of other things, but yeah, that's what the plan would be when it comes to CM2. I think I've covered CM2 almost everything. I'm not talking about 70-30 percentage and stuff because you know all those stuff. I'm not getting into the level of details on that. But yeah, this is what we are going to do. I think I'm most probably done with my orientation here. If you have any questions, we can discuss that right now. Anyone? I think I've covered almost everything on the weightage and stuff as well. If not, that's it for the day. That's what I wanted to discuss. We can end the lecture here. Anyone?